everyone and welcome to the Formula E Pit Lane Preview Show. I'm Darren Najatossier.
I'm Saunders CB.
And we are back in Morocco for the first time since 2020 for this weekend's Marrakesh E3. How exciting.
I'm so excited, Darren. Honestly, there's something about this circuit. Every time we come back here, race after race, it just always delivers. And not just for one reason as well. There's loads of different things that make it amazing racing. And I think, it's going to be the same this Saturday. It has to be. It has
100%, especially given that it's round 10 of the championship and we've only got 6 more races to go after this one. So there's lots to play for. I feel like the drivers are going to put their best foot forward.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but coming up on the show, we're going to be hearing from Saunders with a race preview. And we're also going to show you the beauty of Marrakesh and what the city has to offer.
We'll be talking to 3 former race winners here, Sebastien Buemi, Jerome and Antonio Felix Costa, on what it takes to win in Marrakesh. Alongside talking to Robin Frijns, who answers your questions from social media.
But first up, last time we were here, we saw one of the greatest overtakes in Formula E history. So let's hear from both drivers who took part in that epic moment, Maximilian Guenther and Vergne.
As these all-electric race cars are about to do battle on the streets of Marrakesh, the tension is very, very high. The heat is high, so here we go. Guenther got the dummy, got the inside of Vergne. He did that really well, actually, Max
He
Guenther.
really did. That was a very, for a young guy, what a tactically astute race.
Because you would think Vergne will just cover the inside the whole way, but he did fall for the dummy.
Yeah, well, Vergne couldn't cover both, and Guenther would have been able to just drive around the outside. The question is, did Jean-Eric Vergne run out before the line? Oh, that is close. Those late moves, I don't like them.
That day, on Friday, I was in the hospital.
I remember,
I didn't do FP1, quali, I think I did 12. And in the race, I had like 40 degrees fever. I was not thinking straight. And I think when I passed you, I was too excited and, I don't know, overconsumed. Like, I should have stayed behind you, build the energy, and try and overtake you later. But yeah, I ran out of energy in the last lap, so.
Yeah, but the overtaking, or the defending from you was quite impressive. Like I tried for, 5-6 times I tried it. Like in turn 1, I went a few times side by side.
Yeah, I was hoping that you would overconsume and that you would have the same bad energy as me in the last lap. But I crossed the line and I had no more energy. I was lucky that the guys were not too close behind.
Yeah.
It's going to be a warm race. It's going to be very difficult for A, the tires, and B, the battery temperatures. So, we're going to have to be smart in how we spend the energy and how we generate it.
It's one case if you do the perfect time trial in the simulator, but then it's another case if you fight other people. So all these items that Jeff mentioned, they will be even more complex than when you go into the race fighting other people. So yeah, I guess we'll be quite some action on Saturday afternoon.
Wow, what a move. It's so great to see that overtake again and just to hear from the drivers. I love those chats between them.
Yeah, it's really good insight, isn't it? It's nice. That moment is so significant because it wasn't just about the overtake. That was like simmering for lap after lap. Max was putting the pressure on Jev. He was making him use more energy again and again and again, lap after lap, to the point where Jev was just like, look, I can't push anymore.
Yeah.
He had to yield.
I'm out.
Max made it, he dummied it, did it, made the move, and then got himself one step up the podium. So yeah, amazing move.
So good. We just love this track, but also we love the city.
Yeah, it's a really good place to visit. Lots of history, lots of culture. You had the chance to go out and explore yesterday, didn't you?
I did indeed. And here's my city guide brought to you by SAUDIA. Welcome to Marrakesh. Ahead of this weekend's E3, join me for a tour around this beautiful city where we're going to explore 5 places that you should visit, presented by SAUDIA.
Flag lights are on. We go green in Marrakesh. McLaren might just about hold on around the outside. No, burns through. Max Guenther, and he goes to the outside. Costa holds the plate.
Well, it's only right to start off with the most famous landmark in Marrakesh, the Costa Mosque. It was built in the 12th century, making it nearly 1,000 years old. And just across the road, we have the Costa Gardens, which is a beautifully scenic place to zen and relax. And something that you may notice across this tour is the colour of the buildings. They don't call Marrakesh the Red City for nothing. Now, you can't come to Marrakesh without visiting the iconic souks. This is the hub for shopping, or I think it's fair to say you can pretty much find anything here, from fresh food to clothing and carpets. It's fantastic to see what's going on here. And top tip, if you want to come where it's not too busy, I mean, the fact that we can do this right now is incredible. Normally it's really packed. Come in the morning. And also, if you want to try out your haggling skills, I think this is the place to go. Thank you. And just a few meters away is Al Noor, which from the outside just looks like a regular clothing store, but is actually a social enterprise which works with local women from disabled communities to create these incredible clothes and much more. So why don't we go and take a look?
Al Noor in Arabic means the light. And really it's a light that enlightens our life, the life of these disabled women. We have breakfast, we have lunch, we have transportations, and we have also other learning languages and learning other techniques of embroidery.
And why is this so important for you to give back to the local community?
It helps women to integrate in society. As you see, the disabled women, this is the only place in which they found their life.
Well, guys, looks like I've got my race day outfit sorted.
Yes, you too.
Thank you. And a great way to get around the city is right here at Vakala Bikes, which is another incredible social enterprise in Marrakesh that offers education opportunities and skills to young people in the local area. They also offer amazing tours around the city, so I'm going to see if I can try and get one, but let's find out a bit more. Lovely to meet you. So could you tell us a bit about what exactly you do here?
So first of all, welcome to Picala project.
Thank you very much.
Our project is a social project that started in 2016. We use the bicycles to create job opportunities and education for youth here in Morocco, to empower them in making an impact, enhancing their communities. It can be like an environmental, like it's about youth, whatever, but the idea is to give the chance to this youth to learn and to make an impact in their communities. So all the bikes that you see here are second-hand bikes donations that comes from Holland, and we recycle them here to give them a second life. We also work together with big companies to deliver events and things like that. And one of them was with the Formula E and DHL last year in the village of Formula E.
Yeah,
and
the E-village.
There was like a lot of activities, but the main one was an activity for blind small kids to get the chance to cycle freely on a bicycle.
Incredible.
So we got like bikes like this, like a tandem double bike with the monitor in a secure way, and then they have to cycle and like feel the wind.
Oh, that's incredible.
So that was just like one of the projects that happened there.
Yeah. Well, looking at that bike earlier, I actually want to get on it. Do you think I can get a bit of a tour?
Yes,
Yeah?
you can do that.
And to end things off, we've come to the Jama Al Fana Square, which if you take a look around us is absolutely buzzing. There are so many people here, and I mean, who's to blame them? There is lots to get around with, and we are delighted to end off the tour here. But now, back to the track.
Really nice to see another side of the city. I haven't seen that part of Marrakesh before. I think initiatives like that are super important, like clean air, clean energy, electric cars, great for sustainability, but social importance as well.
Yeah.
I mean, great finds, Darren.
Thank you. I mean, what can I say? But with Formula E being net zero carbon since inception, I think it's only right for us to get stuck into the great initiatives happening in the city.
For sure, location's important, the people we're raising front super important as well, which brings me on to talk about the big announcement this week.
Oh yeah.
Next year's calendar. How excited are you?
Buzzing. I mean, the new locations on there, Sao Paulo, Hyderabad, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, those two locations, super significant for an abundance of reasons, but let's just talk about Sao Paulo to begin with. Brazilians love motorsport. It is in their DNA, so no doubt they will come out in their masses to watch Formula E. And Hyderabad's a really nice one because we're bringing Formula E to a whole new fan base in India, but for one particular team, Mahindra,
Home race for them.
it's a home race, and being able to put a show on in front of the Passioneers, the super engaged fan base as well for them, it's just really nice. It's
Yes.
really nice.
Some other exciting news is that Neo McLaren have announced their livery, and it is looking hot.
Yeah, it is looking really good. It's going to be amazing to see the orange, the McLaren like orange on the Formula E grid in the Gen 3 car. I mean, as a team, they are really going in on electric motorsport. It's not just Formula E, it's Extreme E as well. And also, something else they announced this week, very exciting for anyone that's a bit of like a long-term fan of Formula E, is they said that there's a chance that Felix Rosenqvist might be racing in Formula E for McLaren next season.
Insane.
If you watch Formula E back in those days, that guy was prolific. He was so good. So the idea of having him back on this grid will shake things up for sure.
Tell me about it. Gosh, Saunders, you've got me so excited for season 9. I feel like we need to reel it back in and focus on this season where there are still a lot of drivers fighting for the championship. One of them is Robin Frijns, and we put your questions towards him.
Hi, I'm Robin Frijns and I'm answering your fan questions. I mean, I like South of France, as I always go there in the summer. So kind of like a beach day, having good lunch, maybe go out in the evening. I need to think on that because I took quite some naps in my life. Well, planes is not weird. On the start grid in Moscow when I had pole. Most of my spare time. Well, actually at the moment I'm running a company now, so it's been a year now since running Frijns Unlimited, so I've been doing that in my free time.
What's that company do?
Doing cars, so detailing, car wrap, PPF, tuning, basically everything that has to do with the car. I think jumping into a Formula 1 car first time, as this was like, one of those kids' dreams. So to jump in and finally reach kind of like one of your targets in life. The first one was a demo in Moscow, which was only like 5 or 6 laps. But the proper one was in Abu Dhabi in the young driver test. Italian, for sure Italian. So pasta, pizza will always do. So Dak, he will take care of the snacks for sure. Oh, difficult one. Then I would go for Stoffel, he would drive, because he doesn't crash a lot. And the other one was, last one was? Navigate. Well, Mitch navigating is a disaster, I believe. Nick is even worse. I will go for Mitch. Go to karaoke song. Tequila, because only one word.
And how's that go?
Tequila. Thank you so much for your questions and see you in Marrakesh.
So, what do you make of Robin's season so far, Saunders?
I mean, it's a tale of two stories, really. Like, he's had some great performances, back-to-back podiums at a stage, good pace, but also a lot of bad luck.
Yeah.
So, he really needs to maximise the car that he has, because he does have a quick car. And maybe this is the race that he can turn around and properly put the pressure on the people above him, because he's got some work to do. But so do other people. Oh, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
But as you said, there are still a lot of drivers that want to do well here. So here's Saunders with everything you need to know ahead of this weekend's race.
It's great to be back racing here in Marrakesh, because this is a circuit that has provided more than a few amazing moments in its time on the Formula E calendar. We've seen strategy masterclasses, we've seen last-minute overtakes, we've seen unexpected wins, we've seen team drama and much, much more. So it's safe to say we're excited to see what will happen this weekend. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what to watch out for and where the championship's lining up going into this race. Stoffel Vandoorne tops the standings after a very solid campaign so far. 1 win, 5 podiums and double-digit points hauls in all but 2 of the races. We've seen unprecedented levels of consistency in the championship this season, and Vandoorne has been captain consistent and as a result sits and holds firm his position at the top of the standings. But the gap behind has closed significantly. Jean-Eric Vergne goes into this race on a great run of form. Despite not winning a race, he sits only 5 points behind the leader and ahead of drivers that have multiple wins to their name. Consistency proving key once again. Vergne battled to the checkered flag to get on the podium last time we visited Marrakesh, and he'll be wanting to repeat that success or even better it and get that first win of the season under his belt and put the pressure on Vandoorne. But he'll have his own pressure to deal with as the Rocket Venturi driver Eduardo Mortara sits only 2 points behind in the standings. Mortara is having his most prolific season in Formula E yet, and arrives in Morocco off the back of 3 podiums in a row, including a win and 2 pole positions.
Mortara means business, and the Mercedes-powered Rocket Venturi package has looked incredibly quick for much of the season. But can he continue that momentum this weekend and push even closer to a Formula E world title?
Our last race in Jakarta brought with it some pretty extreme conditions and a real energy management challenge for the drivers.
Mitch Evans further proved his quality this season and the energy efficiency credentials of the Jaguar car by making some great overtaking moves to get into the lead and win the race in Jakarta, his third win of the season. Evans is another driver who is having his most competitive campaign yet, and Marrakesh is a circuit that Mitch knows well and is extremely capable of making moves on. On our last visit here, Mitch climbed up 18 places from the back of the grid to finish 6th. Now combine that with his great form, a car that manages high temperature and energy seemingly better than most of the grid, and you have a recipe for success.
But as we know, it's not all about who tops the standings. The racing of Formula E is far too close, far too competitive for that to be the case, and also qualifying duels this season, the intensity of those can really make way for a driver to flip their season around and move themselves up the order, especially in the tough, challenging, hot conditions of a North African summer.
It's worth noting that this circuit has had a fair few seasons on the calendar, but with the majority in the Gen 1 era, which gives a competitive advantage to the veterans on the grid. And those who have joined since our last visit in Season 6 will need to get up to speed quickly to minimise that advantage. DS Techeetah driver Antonio Felix da Costa is one of those Formula E veterans who we may see do well here. He's not had the season he would have wanted, but he dominated race day on our last visit to Marrakesh, starting from pole and winning the race with an 11.5 second gap on second. Meaning this is clearly a circuit he knows how to be quick and efficient on. His teammate has proved the DS Techeetah package is more than capable of podiums, so could we see the Season 6 champion claim his first podium of the season? Solid points here could easily see him knocking on the top 5 in the standings. The same goes for Lucas di Grassi in the highly competitive Rocket Venturi racing car. He's got a lot of experience on this circuit, so capitalising on that advantage may allow for a high points finish for him as well.
So there we go, a few things to be thinking about ahead of the race this Saturday. It feels like it's setting itself up for more drama, and we love to see it. We've got very tough conditions here. It's going to take composure, it's going to take extreme energy management strategy. It's going to be a difficult race for the drivers to compete in. Let us know your predictions in the comments below, and make sure to head over to fiaformulae.com/watch to find out where you can watch the race where you are.
So those are the drivers that could win, but what does it take to win here in Marrakesh, Saunders?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I've got a few thoughts and ideas, but why listen to me when you can listen to 3 people that have actually won here before?
Fair play.
The last winner, Da Costa, the first winner, Sebastien Buemi, and Rocket Venturi team principal, Jerome D'Ambrosio.
So I think it's a special circuit here. It's something in between a street track and a conventional circuit. So I think it's important to have a car that suits well the medium to high speed corners compared to the likes of Rome or New York or London. It's a lot faster here. I think obviously having pole position is always important here, but maybe not so much on that track. There is long straight, so if you are fast in the race, you can pass and you can come back.
So this is a very specific track. It's probably the smoothest track we have over the whole season, so the car setup changes a little bit, the way you race changes a little bit, you have to be very strategic. I had to go through a little bit of a big disappointment in this racetrack to then understand really what it took to win. I can't disclose it fully to you guys, otherwise I'll be giving you all my secrets. This season we're racing here in July. This is a big difference from when we used to race here in February. It's much hotter, and this will have a big influence in not only managing the energy, but mainly the battery temperatures.
For me, a lot of luck. No, I think it will be a lot about management of temperatures in general, whether it's tire temperatures or battery temperatures. This weekend it will be crucial. I don't know if it's a particular driving style, to be honest. I think it's just, in racing, to just win a race, you have to put everything together. I've had horrible races here in Marrakesh and I also won, so I think it's a package. Marrakesh is an energy-sensitive track, so in general it's easier to overtake. It takes so much work to win a race, together with the team and everything, that it's really, for me, it's always been, whether when I was in the car or now, I'm not afraid to, to let my emotion go and to celebrate, because it's an achievement to win a Formula E race.
So we've just heard from the 3 drivers that have won here before, but Saunders, who do you think is going to do it this weekend? It's that time of the show where I'm going to ask you for your predictions.
It's hard, it's always hard. I think we've seen more consistency than we've seen in a lot of seasons before now. So maybe there is a bit of a more prediction that can happen. I mean, Costa has still got to have that turnaround point in the season, and he was so dominant here last time. So maybe him, Stoffel Van Dorn still leading the championship, still getting himself in great positions. It's quite hard to say.
No, come on, you've got to nail down a name. Who do you think is going to do it?
If I had to put my money on one driver, I think at the moment I'm swaying towards Mitch Evans.
Okay.
He's had good consistency, multiple wins, and that car just seems to do really well in these sort of conditions, just hot temperatures.
Yeah.
More energy efficient than a lot of others on the grid, which is massive in a temperature like this. So, yeah, I think maybe Mitch Evans might just get my money.
Yeah, well, something else that's getting hotter and hotter is this championship. We are so excited to be back in Marrakesh, and remember, there is no turning back.
Marrakesh, Morocco's magical city. Relentless racing at 174 miles per hour.
He goes for it. Whoa,
Just got taken. Van Dorn remains on top, but can he handle the heat?
Come on. But he holds on to win in Marrakesh.
Marrakesh, Ypres, no turning back.